on the exclusive home of Peru State Athletics, B103, B103.FM, and on your smartphone or tablet. We send you to the gridiron for live play-by-play with the voice of Bobcat football, Doc Wininger and Daryl Obermeyer.
Welcome back to Culver-Stockton Next Level Field. We're in Canton, Missouri, and the captains are out this afternoon for the coin toss. For the Bobcats, looks like Shane Lloyd, Jake Long. Also out there is Darian Richardson, and I believe that's Dean Wood. Daryl, I believe those are the 4 Bobcats out there.
Yeah, we really can't even really read the numbers of Culver-Stockton.
No, Culver-Stockton has gray uniforms with, it's the same color blue as the Bobcats are, but extremely hard to read because about half the players have tucked their jerseys up under their shoulder pads. The blue on the gray is very hard to read anyway, but extremely difficult, going to be struggling all afternoon to get numbers.
Yeah, Kyle Enos of Crystal Lake, Illinois is the only number I've been able to read so far for Culver-Stockton that's a captain today.
It's senior day here at Culver-Stockton. It's all out introductions. The Bobcats have won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. So Culver-Stockton will get the ball to start the game. Bobcats will kick, and they will defend the north goal. So, Daryl, they're going to have again, help me with where's the wind out of it?
The wind's out of the north. This is opposite most stadiums. We're on the east side looking west.
Yeah.
So it's going to be opposite of when we call most things. But, yeah, the wind's out of the north, wind's blowing from our right. But we're down in a hole, and the flags aren't blowing out extremely strong. So I think the wind is a little bit diminished from where we are on this campus.
So Peru State will kick off. They'll have the wind behind them here in the first quarter. They'll go right to left on your dial, which is north to south. They're wearing their Bobcat blue pants, white jerseys, blue helmets. Culver-Stockton, again, in the grays with the blue numbers, and extremely difficult to read from our vantage here in the press box high above. Greg Connery will kick it off for the Bobcats this afternoon. The injury bug has continued to bite the Bobcats this year. They're now 19 freshmen on the 2-deep roster for Peru State. So the good news is they're getting some valuable experience, but the bad news is it is a very young team out here this afternoon. Andy Smith will be back deep for Culver-Stockton, along with, I believe that's Javon Willis on the far side.
Yeah, Doc, I Googled where Wilmore, California is because I never heard of it. The reason I never heard of it, it wasn't incorporated until 2008. But it's very near Hemet, California, and I know some folks live in Hemet. One of them trains racehorses, and the others had a campground.
Bobcats quarterback today, Tommy Wilson, will be from Wilmore. So Andy Smith has the ball right at the 5-yard line, pops outside east of the 20, still on his feet, taken out of bounds. He slipped when he caught the ball. And, Daryl, one of the things that some of the officials here at Culver-Stockton told us today, this is a very unusual field. Instead of the crumb rubber in the turf, it is actually very small rock, like aquarium rock, and they've had some players that have struggled this year with slippage as a result of that.
Yeah, I wonder if you'd have a little trouble if, would you scrape a knee a little bit easier with that type of turf versus the rubber?
They said it's a firmer surface, is what they said, and so it's a very unusual surface here this afternoon. Culver-Stockton will start at their own 25-yard line, turn and hand the ball off to Desmond Phillips, and he is out to about the 31 or 32-yard line, gain of about 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 10 there, second down and 3 there. Opening possession for Culver-Stockton started about their 25-yard line. They have second down now and 3. Trip split to the far side, empty backfield, and 2 receivers to the near side. Bring it back to Pat. He's going to keep it himself after they spread it out. And Swingle has the first down out to about the 40-yard line, but there's going to be a holding call, I believe. There's a penalty flag back at about the 32-yard line. And
it looked like somebody tackled John Drager, didn't it?
It was a nice tackle on John Drager on the on the outside there. Eventually, Darvell Collins in on the tackle, and Drager comes out after the play.
Yeah, we're in a kind of a sealed box here. We can't open the windows, so we're not going to be able to hear, in most cases, who it is the penalties against us, and you're not going to be able to hear the band playing or the crowd cheering. It's I guess it's not an ideal for folks sitting at home listening on the radio.
Holding call is going to take it back to about the 22-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 13 now for the Wildcats. And now fullback, again in shotgun formation, actually in the pistol, is Swingle. Turns around, fakes the handoff, rolls to the far side. Now looking upfield, and Briar Burr there on the coverage. They're looking for Nick Hill. It's going to be 3rd down and 13. That play took a while to develop, and Briar Burr from the safety position making a nice job coming over to help out Darvell Collins on the far sideline in front of the Bobcat bench.
Yeah, this game last year came down to the wire. It was played in Falls City, and Greg Connery had a 32-yard field goal in the final play of the game to seal the victory for Peru State that was at that time ranked number 16 in the country. It was a 31-28 victory for Peru State last week.
3rd down and 13. Again, Swingle back in the gun. He's back to pass. Now takes off and runs, and taken down after a short gain by Ben Watkins, the junior out of Omaha Burke. Really, I think a loss on the player, maybe right at the line of scrimmage. So 4th down and 13, so the Bobcat defense holds.
Yeah, the Hack cross-country meets taking place in Auburn today at the Auburn Country Club. It's kind of windy there. I just got a message from Chuck Knipe. He was picking corn in his field next to the golf course and had to quit and move to another field because the shucks were blowing out into the race. I guess I'm bothering the players, but
Chuck Knipe never has to buy golf balls if he farms right next to the Auburn Country Club. Here comes the snap, the punt. Nice punt by Zamudio into the wind, and receiving it is Paben at the 38, 39-yard line, and is taken down there.
I thought he was going to make some yardage, but he got grabbed by the shirt as he was getting out of the crowd. I thought he was going to get it quite a ways downfield, but he was grabbed by the shirt, just by the tail of it, and pulled to the ground.
James Dannon gets the tackle, so Bobcats get their first shot at the offense. They'll start at their own 38-yard line. And Tommy Wilson gets his first start as a Bobcat, the freshman from Willamar, California. They start in the veer. Spearman, Trombley, your halfbacks. Smith is your fullback. Trombley goes into motion to the far side. They pitch it to him, and he gets maybe a yard or two. So it'll be 2nd down and 8, right at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Marcus Spearman has 213 net yards on the season coming into today's game. He was our player of the game earlier in the season. I don't recall what game, but he had about I believe a 14-yard average that day in his rushes.
He had last week. He had a pretty good average, except he fell on 2 fumbles that weren't his fault.
Yeah,
Tommy Wilson pitches late, and the ball's on the ground, and Culver-Stockton's going to have it. Nate Trombley unable to handle the pitch, and the fumble was recovered by Kyle Enos. And we talked about turnovers, Daryl, being a key to the game, and there's the first turnover for the Bobcats.
Yeah, as you mentioned in the pregame show, this had a lot of effect on the game with Culver-Stockton last week at Baker with the short field, and so Baker gets the ball. Culver-Stockton gets the ball on the Peru State 41-yard line.
The Bobcats, 2 plays and a fumble. And with 12:04 remaining in the opening quarter, Culver starts at the Peru State 41-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side. Split backs. Shotgun formation is Swingle. Now Hill goes into motion. They hand the ball underneath. It gets maybe 3 yards before Briar Burr, I believe, brings him down. Shane Lloyd right there as well. That was Desmond Phillips with the carry.
Yeah. Sorry, Doc. Briar Burr now, that's his 48th tackle of the season for the Bobcats, and he does have a tackle for a loss.
Steffen now in the game at one of the safeties. Cody Sullivan off the sideline. Kone comes into motion to the near side, back to pass to Swingle, and hits his tight end. Nice catch. Actually, that was Fred Moore, the tight end out of Flint, Michigan, and taken down there immediately. But a first down to the 23-yard line of the Bobcats.
Well, it was Fred Moore tackled by Briar Burr, so it was 11 on 11 in that play.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats at the Bobcat 22-yard line. So this time under center is Swingle. They're in the I formation. He turns around, hands the ball to Phillips. A huge hole up the middle. Phillips all the way down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line where Briar Burr takes him down again. So it'll be first down and goal for the Wildcats. And last week, Peru State turned the ball over 6 times, and Mid-American Nazarene scored after all 6 turnovers. And today, Culver-Stockton did the 8-yard line, first down and goal after the Bobcat fumble.
One of the players, we're talking about it's hard to read the numbers. One of the players, I can't see his number because his hair hangs clear down to his waist, but when he was running downfield, his hair was flopping enough. I got his number.
Desmond Phillips with a short gain, that time tackled in the middle by John Drager. Yeah, it's Tyler Apoli from Oceanside, California, with the resplendent set of hair there.
John Drager, 46 tackles on the season coming into the game. And I believe last week he was our player of the game. When they just last week's game against Mid-American Nazarene had 10 tackles.
Second down and goal, ball at the 7-yard line. Split backs behind Swindle, who is under center. And now Pavolo goes into Ocean, and Swingle rolls out looking to pass and decides to tuck and run. Logan Pabin gets him about the 3-yard line. It'll be third down and goal with the ball at the 3. No, it wasn't Jordan. Ben Watkins when they came up with the ball after that play, but it must have been a fumble after he was on the ground because the ball's still for Culver-Stockton. So the Wildcats third down and goal, ball at the 3-yard line. After the fumble on the errant pitch between Tommy Wilson and Nate Trombley. Swindle this time is in the gun. 2 receivers to the near side. Now Kone going into motion toward the far side. Back to pass. Swindle looks left, now to the right, and there's the big tight end. Nobody caught him coming across the middle, and it's a touchdown from Chris Swingle to Fred Moore. And with 9:02 remaining in the first quarter, Culver-Stockton is on the board first. Yeah, Culver-Stockton, that was a third down, so I assume you call that a conversion, don't you? And they were 45 of 142 on the season, so just about 1 of 3 on third down conversions. In to attempt the extra point is Eric Zamudio, the senior out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. So Zamudio now takes his 3 steps back, 2 steps to the side. Here's the placement is good, and the kick is up, and it is good. 9:02 remaining in the opening quarter. Culver-Stockton leads Peru State 7-0. We'll be back with more after this. You listen to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
At Mosher's U-Save in Nebraska City and Cody's U-Save in Auburn, you've always been able to count on fast, quality service and a friendly staff to answer your questions. Now take advantage of our ability to quickly sort through Medicare Part D plans to help you choose the plan that's right for you. During the open enrollment period, October 15th through December 7th, learn about the growing number of plans that list U-Save as their preferred pharmacy, saving you money on your copays. For your free Part D plan comparison, stop by your locally owned U-Save pharmacy with your Medicare card and medication list. We'll handle the rest. We're Health Mart Pharmacies, caring for you and about you.
Now, back to Doc and Daryl on the gridiron for more Peru State football on B103.
Welcome back to Next Level Field here in Canton, Missouri. Peru State on the road playing Culver-Stockton. And the Bobcats turned the ball over on their first possession, giving Culver a short field. Culver, at 6 plays later, goes in on a 3-yard pass from Chris Swingle to Fred Moore. And the Bobcats now down 7-0. We're now up to about a half a dozen, I guess, on the fraternity guys watching us, but I guess not so many on a cold day. Ball's going to bounce on the kickoff at about the 17. Pavin picks up at the 15, out to the 20, the 25, and to about the 28-yard line. So nice run there. Zamudio kicking it, driving it into the wind. So the Bobcats now down 7-0. Will start out on about their own 29-yard line. 8:57 remaining, opening quarter. Culver-Stockton 7-0 over the Peru State Bobcats. Spearman goes into motion. Tommy Wilson keeps it around the far sideline out to about the 34, 35-yard line. He's going to have about 5 on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 5. Coughlin in at the wide receiver to the near side on that play.
The other games around the HAC this week is Graceland at Avila, Baker at Central Methodist, Benedictine at Mid-American Nazarene, Missouri Valley at Evangel. They're all 1 o'clock games, so hopefully we'll have some results before the game's over here.
That Benedictine Mid-American Nazarene game is going to be for a share of the conference title, more than likely. Spearman goes into motion. Wilson keeps it, pitches it to him, and Spearman is dragged down on the far sideline.
Yeah, he got about 2 yards. The pitch was maybe just a little bit late getting there, so he lost some of his timing getting around the right side of that Bobcat offensive line.
Mike Fitzgibbons, the junior linebacker, with the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 with the ball at the 36-yard line for the Bobcats. Trombley and Spearman leave, and coming in are Jacob Merrill, and also coming in for the Bobcats is Grant Jensen. We haven't seen a whole lot of him this year. He's a tight end out of Lincoln. Only 6 seconds left on the play clock when they break the huddle. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. They get the ball off. Tommy Wilson back to pass, chased out of the pocket. Now is in trouble, still running on the sideline, and is going to be taken down right at the down marker. So he's going to be about 3 yards short. Couldn't find anybody open downfield. Good. That's a coverage. Nice coverage play. Is nobody could get open, and so in will come Conry to punt.
He lost about a yard on the play. The line of scrimmage was the 36, and he got almost as far back as about the 22 or 23-yard line and broke a couple of tackles and got up and only lost 1 yard out of the play, which could have been a disaster for the Bobcats.
2 players coming on late on the field for Culver, and one of them didn't get off, but they didn't see it, Daryl. There actually had 12 players on the field when the ball was snapped. Conry punts it all the way down. It's going to roll dead at the 21 where it is
now
down.
A flag finally came in.
Now a flag comes out.
And Culver-Stockton's clapping, so I wonder if it's
flag on the Bobcats.
Yeah, I wonder.
Side judge threw it clear back at the 28-yard line.
That was a great punt, putting it clear back at the 21-yard line for Culver-Stockton.
So now the referee and the umpire are discussing the call. Still waiting. Now turning around looking. Not sure if they're trying to get a number or what. The ball is spotted right now at the 21-yard line. Personal foul called on Bobby Nellison after the play for Culver-Stockton.
Yeah, it's funny because when they threw the flag, Culver-Stockton was clapping. I thought it was going to be against the Bobcats, but it was against Culver-Stockton.
So moves it back to the 11-yard line. So they missed the 12 players on the field, but got the personal foul call. So that actually is a possession difference. Split to the near side is Nick Hill. To the far side is Will Kone. And Swingle's in shotgun formation. Stand back about his 5-yard line. Now Logan Pavement playing press coverage. Play action pass. They throw it out. Nice catch. He can't hang on to it. He bobbled that for about 5 yards. That was intended for Jack Klychek, who's a junior out of Moni, Illinois, a fullback. And it was thrown. Swingle was being chased toward the end zone, and he just kind of lobbed the ball in the air, and Klychek just could not come up with it. I thought he had that ball 2 or 3 different times.
Oh, Doc, last week you mentioned that it was the big Wesleyan battle, and your Wesleyan upset Dakota Wesleyan last week.
That was a shock. I mean, Nebraska Wesleyan lost to Dort, for heaven's sakes, this year, the worst team in GPAC history, and then turned around and beat Dakota Wesleyan, who's in the top 25. Desmond Phillips is taken down after a short game. But in defense of Nebraska Wesleyan, the loss to Dort was the week after they had the player who died tragically in the accident on I-80 in Lincoln. So it was a little bit of a tough week for them to play that week.
It's kind of interesting, too, with Baker's loss last week. That was also after the loss of a player. It apparently does have a big impact on a team to lose one of your own.
3rd down and 10 as Culver spreads out, 3 wide receiver in the pattern. Swingle back to pass, and he was not on the same page as Will Kone. He threw an out, and Kone ran a fly pattern, and so the ball falls incomplete. They'll be punting into the wind. 5:55 remaining, so the Bobcats, if they field the punt, should have decent field position here. So Culver-Stockton's had 2 3-and-outs, but in between there they had a 6-play drive that resulted in a touchdown as they lead Peru State 7-0.
Yeah, the big game in the GPAC, though, is the number 7 Northwestern at number 1 Morningside.
Morningside is averaging 697 yards a game. They averaged 31 first downs a game, and they had a game earlier this year where they had 915 yards. James Schluka catches the punt at the 45-yard line, gets it forward to the 44. That was the oddest-looking play. He was running over to get in front of Logan Pavement to block for him and looked up, and the ball was right there, so he caught it. Daryl, that was a strange-looking play.
Well, yeah, it sure was, and I think it's too bad we don't have instant replay. That would really be neat to watch that up on the big board, the way it developed.
5:44 remaining here in the first quarter. Peru State gets the ball at the Culver-Stockton 43-yard line. Bobcats yet to have a first down in this game. They're in the veer. Tommy Wilson keeps it himself and is going to be taken down for a loss of a couple. So the Bobcats not running the ball effectively against Culver yet. Culver, one of the top, they're 12th in the nation in rush defense. One more Morningside stat before we get off the Mustangs up there, Daryl. Every time they snap the ball, they average 8.8 yards a play. So they average almost 9 yards every time they snap the ball.
It would be tough for a defensive coordinator probably to psych up your team and face them.
Now in the I formation, the Cats have it 2nd down and 12. Play action. Tommy Wilson rolls to the near side, dodges a couple of receivers. He finds a tight end down at the 32-yard line.
No, it's intercepted.
It was intercepted. Man, I thought Robinson had that.
He must have pulled it out of his arms. That was intercepted by Karasoma. Is that how you say that?
Intercepted by Karasoma Tilavea gets the interception, so the Bobcats turn it over again, and Daryl, Andrew Robinson had that in his hands, and Tilavea took it away from him. So Culver now gets it.
Yeah, and already 2 turnovers.
The 27-yard line. 4:53. Desmond Phillips gets it on the handoff, taken down after a short gain. Going to be maybe a yard, maybe right at the line of scrimmage. At the bottom of the pile there is Shane Lloyd.
So I mentioned the cross-country meet, the Hack cross-country meet is being held in Auburn today at the Auburn Country Club. Benedictine women won the conference. Baker got 2nd and Central Methodist in 3rd place.
Yesterday, Culver's men's soccer team here defeated Benedictine to get into the Hack championship against Missouri Valley in a game that will be played tomorrow. Men's soccer team here. Underneath center this time is Swingle. Hands the ball to Phillips. Phillips tries to pop it outside, and Cody Sullivan is there along with that is David Horvath. So back to the 24-yard line. Loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 13.
Yeah, when we were at Benedictine, I read in some of their literature, they're going to start both the women's and men's lacrosse teams. So some of these schools are small enough. You wonder how they have enough students to go around for all the sports.
That's why they have students. They have those for recruiting purposes. You remember, 3rd down and 13. We'll come back to that after this play. Back to pass to Swingle on 3rd down and 13. Has time, throws across the middle, and Briar Burr has it right in his hands at the 35-yard line and drops it. So it'll be 4th down and 13, and punting for will be Culver-Stockton. Daryl, back to that Lindenwood, who used to be in the Heart of America Athletic Conference and is now in the MIAA, had 45 varsity sports.
They do.
They have 45 varsity sports, and the varsity sports include everything from men's and women's lacrosse to rodeo to men's and women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's even more Missouri Valley. I didn't realize anybody could top them.
Missouri Valley actually has women's wrestling also. So 4th down and 13, 3:29 remaining in the opening quarter. Culver-Stockton leading Peru State, and the ball goes off the side of Zamudio's foot. It's not going to be a very long punt from the 24. The official still coming back. And where they have it, where are they going to spot this thing finally? 44-yard line, so a 20-yard punt by Zamudio. And the Bobcats, for the second consecutive possession, will start in Culver-Stockton territory. And Daryl, I guess if you're looking for good news at this point in the season, it's that for the first time in 8 turnovers, the opposing team didn't score after.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
3:23 to go. As Peru State starts on the Culver 44. Ball handed to Smith up the middle. He's on the dive, gets about 2 to the 42. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 for the Bobcats. And at that point, you're kind of relieved to see a 2-yard gain after there's no turnover on the play.
Yeah, we talked about the G-Pack and the hack today, but in the KCAC, Luke Lundy from Auburn High School, he's leading with 1,361 yards or 1,508 yards rushing and 19 touchdowns. And they're playing friends to see who stays in the lead of the conference today for Ottawa.
Back to pass, Tommy Wilson. He's in trouble. And the ball is knocked loose. It's going to be called, and now there's penalty flags all over the place. And
I think you'd have to call that an incomplete pass, wouldn't you?
I think they called it an incomplete pass, and now there are penalty flags on the play, but Tommy Wilson is on the ground. He is the last Bobcat quarterback standing. He is the 5th Bobcat quarterback, and he is the last one in uniform. Marshall Klontz, I guess, is dressed up today, but is not supposed to play with a burst or sack injury. And we'll see what the call here is. And now okay, a shot to the head by Josh German, a defensive lineman. So Tommy Wilson was hit in the head, shot to the head after the pass was released, is the personal foul. So it'll be 1st down. The Bobcats get their first down of the game. Takes it down to the 38-yard line of Culver-Stockton.
They moved the box, but not the. Oh, here now they're moving the chains. It looked like it was going to be a 1st and 5, and I didn't see how that would have happened with that call. But
so the ball at the 38-yard line for the Bobcats. Tommy Wilson stayed on the turf for a little bit and gets you a little nervous at this point. The 6th quarterback of the year apparently would be James Schluka, who was a quarterback at Exeter Milligan in high school, but plays running back for the Bobcats. Spearman goes into motion. Back to pass is Tommy Wilson. He's got time. He throws it down deep in the middle, and going to the ground was A.J. Floodman. But
going to the ground with a push to the back and no flag. There was 2 officials right there. I was sure we'd see 2 flags get thrown there, but he had a hand push right to the middle of his back, and he fell to the ground about the 2-yard line.
So it looked like he was trying to come back to the ball. Tommy Wilson was just pounded as soon as he released the ball for the Bobcats. So 2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats, the ball at the Wildcat, 38-yard line. They're in the I formation with Aaron Smith, the fullback. And dotting the I is Spearman. Smith has it on the quick hitter, and he's got it to about the 35. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Bobcats. 2:15 now remaining in the first quarter. 7-0, Culver-Stockton. Peru State can't afford to get too far behind. The 24 is the most points they've scored this year.
Right.
So down 7-0 already. Spearman comes out. In comes Floodman, Jacob Merrill. And now a single back is Smith, and the pistol is Tommy Wilson. Gets the snap. Here comes the rush, and he has to eat it because they read the screen to Aaron Smith, and he had nowhere else to go. So it's a sack all the way back to the 46-yard line. So the Bobcats' only first down today has been after the personal foul call. They still have not earned one offensively.
Well, and that on this drive, basically, because of that sack, Peru State only had 1 yard. Didn't they start on the 47-yard line?
44.
44.
Actually,
okay, so actually lost
the drive.
Actually lost 2 yards in the drive then.
So Connery stands back at his own 40-yard line. Snap is good. Here comes the punt. It's high, the wind, and fielded at the 16-yard line. Out to the 22.
Oh,
a nice hit by Christian Ruiz as Andy Smith, returning the punt, gets a shot from Christian Ruiz, and now there's a penalty flag back at the 42-yard line, or 42-yard line. So a lot of chippiness between two teams with losing records here this afternoon.
Oh, we have the men's result in now. Baker won the conference in cross-country for the men, Central Methodist second, Benedictine third, and Rachel Lecker finished first for the Bobcats. She was the number 1 runner. She has been much of the season.
So the penalty will be on the Bobcats, and it'll go up to the 36-yard line, so they only net 10 yards on the punt after the penalty. Here we go. I think that might have been 32, which is Eric Morrison Smith on the kicking team. So Culver-Stockton, this is the 9th possession already in the game for the two teams here. 56 seconds remaining.
Yeah, 2 men went in motion at the same time. I think they're going to stop that play.
So a lot of penalties here in this opening period. The illegal procedure or illegal motion actually will be called on the Wildcats. I'll move it back to the ball still.
No, the officials just called the play dead, but there were 2 men in motion, weren't there?
Still trying to get the chains set on the far sideline, Daryl. That may be what the dead ball was. So it'd be 1st and 10, ball at the 41-yard line. That was a little bit odd. Blew the play dead when 2 players were in motion, but no penalty. So on 36, back to pass. It's flipped out to Phillips. He's got it. He's got close to a first down, out to about the 44-yard line. They were at the 36. He gets about 8 or 9 on the play. 2nd down and 2, ball at the 44-yard line. So we don't have running stats in this game, but not much offense for the Bobcats in this first quarter. 2nd down and 2 with the ball at the 44. Swingle in the gun, turns, fakes the handoff, now looks down the sideline, and Logan Paben on the coverage with Nick Hill. No completion. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Wildcats.
The coach of the year for the women's cross-country team in the conference, Rex Lane of Benedictine. The men's, Tim Byers of Baker. Those are the 2 coaches of the year named at the cross-country meet hosted by Peru State today.
Third down and 2 for the Wildcats. 18 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Swingle in the gun, turns around, now hands the ball. It's going to be taken down short of the first down, I believe, right at the 45-yard line. That was Octavius Bolton, the junior running back out of Milwaukee. And it's going to be 4th down and 1. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, it's Culver-Stockton 7, Peru State nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter after this timeout. This is Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
Anyone with diabetes is at risk for diabetic eye disease. Oftentimes, the symptoms of the disease are not noticed until the condition is too far advanced. A simple annual eye exam with Lifetime Vision Center can save you from impaired vision or potentially blindness if you or someone you know have diabetes or are at risk for getting diabetes. Early detection and treatment from Lifetime Vision Center in Auburn, Nebraska are the key to maintaining healthy vision. Call them today for better eye health in your future.
At Mosier's U-Save in Nebraska City and Cody's U-Save in Auburn, you've always been able to count on fast, quality service and a friendly staff to answer your questions. Now take advantage of our ability to quickly sort through Medicare Part D plans to help you choose the plan that's right for you. During the open enrollment period, October 15th through December 7th, learn about the growing number of plans that list U-Save as their preferred pharmacy, saving you money on your copays. For your free Part D plan comparison, stop by your locally owned U-Save pharmacy with your Medicare card and medication list. We'll handle the rest. We're Health Mart Pharmacies, caring for you and about you.
Now back to Doc and Daryl on the gridiron for more Peru State football on B103.
Welcome back to Next Level Field at Culver-Stockton College. Peru State on the road trailing 7-0 as we start the second quarter. Eric Zamudio into punt for Culver-Stockton. He's got the wind behind him. Low punt. Malik Pittman's going to field it at the 14 and taken down immediately. So he fielded about the 14-yard line and got dumped back at about the 8 by James Dannon, the freshman out of Oviedo, Florida. So the Bobcats, who've twice have started in Culver's territory and could not even manage a first down, now start this drive on their own 14-yard line. So, Daryl, did they have any stats for us there?
Yeah, we'll have some in just a few minutes. They're getting them ready to go.
Shouldn't be that hard to add up about 14 yards of total offense.
The printer was just getting fired up when I went out to check.
Bobcats have it. They're in the Veer, 1st down and 10. Tommy Wilson turns, penalty flag on the play, and no gain. So,
and that's a bad spot for a flag to be thrown as far as Peru State goes.
We'll see what the penalty is. It's going to be on the on the Bobcats, I believe. Culver is saying they don't want to accept it. So, no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Not enough guys on the line, Daryl. Formation was bad. Illegal formation. Actually, are going to take it back. So they're going to give it to him 1st down and 10 at the 9, or 1st down 15 at the 9 now.
Yeah, but he gets the first quarter scores, and it is a defensive game. Just 2 first downs for Culver-Stockton, just 1 for Peru State. 27 yards rushing for Culver-Stockton, 10 for the Bobcats. And there's only been 64 yards total offense between the two teams in this first quarter.
Tommy Wilson keeps it on the option. He's going to have about 1 yard line, 1 yard out to the 10. Daryl, that's Morningside has that when they get off the bus.
That's right. But Peru State 0 of 2 on 3rd down conversions and only 1 of 5 for Culver-Stockton on 3rd downs. So a lot of defense today.
2nd down and 15 with the ball at the 9-yard line. So Tommy Wilson got nothing on that 1st down play. In the game for the Bobcats now is Janelle Edmonds at the right tackle position. He replaces Bo Godwin at that right tackle in the I formation on 2nd down. Tommy Wilson turns, keeps the ball himself. He's to the 15. He's to the 20. He's out to about the 25, 26-yard line, and the Bobcats get their first down of the game. And now another penalty flag after the play.
Well, their second first down of the game. Their first down, not by a penalty.
Correct.
I guess you'd say it.
So, again, this could be a big call. Well, either way it's going to go. Either the Bobcats are going to be moved back to their 20, to their 14, or it's going to go out past the 40, depending on who they call this one on. So, A lot of pleasantries being exchanged after the plays here. Looks like they're moving it back. That is on Andrew Robinson, the freshman tight end, unsportsmanlike conduct. And so that's going to be first down and 10 at the 13 now for the Bobcats. So they got a first down out to the 26 and moves it back to the 13.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of the Bobcat team. Already 2 penalties in this game, and there are really very few penalties against the Bobcats this season.
I'll have a comment on that here in a minute, Daryl. Now, Tommy Wilson under center gives it to Aaron Smith. He doesn't get much. The penalties, I think you will see in a day like this when you have a lot of disagreements going out on the field. You're going to see a team like Peru State get more penalties than normal because of the 19 freshmen on the 2-deep.
Oh, without the experience.
I think they're getting pulled into some things that the coaches are going to talk to them about at halftime. But I mean, that's inexcusable for Andrew Robinson to get that penalty there on sportsmanlike conduct. That's basically a taunting call. When they finally get out of the shadow of their goalpost and get a first down, Tommy Wilson scrambling for his life now. He tries to set his feet and throw, and he slips. You know, like I said, we were talking to people, this is a very slippery field, and Tommy Wilson went to set his feet and throw, and he couldn't. He slipped. His feet went out from under him, and now they're looking at 3rd down and 9 with the ball at the 14. So that penalty is just a killer for him. Moved him back inside the 15-yard line.
And Jim Sluka on the other side of the field is getting his shoulder worked on. So
he's the 6th quarterback. I saw Jordan Steffen playing some catch over there, and you know, if you start thinking anybody that played defensive back, maybe it played quarterback in high school, and I'm wondering if Jordan Steffen might have played a little quarterback in high school. Tommy Wilson has gotten up slow twice today. Wilson running option now. It's a shovel pass underneath to Nate Trombley, and he's going to be taken down well short of the first down at about the 20-yard line. So it'll be Bobcats will punt again. Finally had their first down running the ball. They had one on a penalty and immediately got a penalty and moved it back to the 13-yard line. So the Bobcats will punt into the wind, and Connery will stand on his 5-yard line. And Smith is giving them a lot of credit for a leg kicking into the wind. Standing clear back at his own 35-yard line. Now he's going to field it. It's going to bounce at the 48 and go inside the 40 where it's downed at about the 38-yard line by Levi Wasser.
Yeah, Greg Connery in the first quarter had 2 punts for a 36.5-yard average. His longest one was 44 yards.
So Culver-Stockton starts at their own 37. They have the only score on the board, 7-0 Culver, with 12:11 remaining here in the second quarter. So dotting the I for Culver behind Swingle, who's in the pistol, is Octavius Bolton. He gets the snap. Swingle does. Back to pass, chased out of the pocket. Now throws it to the Bobcat sideline, and making a catch rolling out of bounds is Nick Hill. Nice catch by Hill, their leading receiver, for about 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Looking at the stats, Daryl, Peru has not completed a pass yet in this game, have they?
In the first quarter, they were 0 for 2, and there was just an incompletion there, so it'll be 0 for 3 right now. But we had that one that we thought was complete that turned out being intercepted. So I guess there's one complete when it was just to the wrong team.
Back to pass is Swingle on 2nd down and 1, chased out of the pocket. He's going to scramble for the first down and is taken down about the 48-yard line of Peru State. That was Ben Watkins, ultimately, who gets the tackle there, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Bobcat 48-yard line. Desmond Phillips returning to the game at that running back position.
Yeah, Brian Bell was chasing him about the goal line and had a hold of the quarterback's back, but he got away from him and moved down for a first down.
First down and 10 for Culver as they go right to left, north to south here in the second quarter. Two receivers split to the near side, split backs around Swingle. Throws it out here to Nick Hill and could be taken down after a gain of about 3. That was Darby. Actually, I believe Briar Burr may be in on the tackle there. Collins also.
Yeah, Briar Burr had 3 tackles in the first quarter to lead the Bobcats, and that's his 4th tackle on the day.
Second down and 7 to go. 11 minutes and counting here in the second quarter. Split to the far side is Nick Hill. Tight end Fred Moore had the touchdown pass on the near side. And then Tyler Papapoli outside of him. Play action, back to pass to Swingle, and he's just throws it at the feet of his receiver as he is getting taken to the ground by Brian Bell. Third down and about 7 to go. And they bring in Will Kone.
And Darian Richardson also had 3 tackles in the first quarter to tie with Briar Burr on tackles today.
Split to the far side are Kone and Hill. Split to the near side. I think we'll see that back to pass is Swingle across the middle. He's got the big tight end Moore, and he's got a nice catch down to the 31 of the Bobcats, where Ben Watkins takes him down there. So another third down conversion and first down for the Wildcats.
That's Fred Moore's 3rd catch already on the day, and that gives him about 35 yards on those 3 catches.
First down and 10. They're going to spot it right at the 30-yard line for the Wildcats. Split to the far side is Gunnerman. Now back to pass is Swingle. He's going to float to the near side. He's got a lane in the middle. He's to the 15. He's to the 10 and taken down about the 5-yard line. So that was all a scramble. And John Drager pleading his case of having been held, but no call.
Yeah, it looked like Logan Pabin was the first one to get there. 3 Bobcats brought him down. I believe Pabin was the first one to get to him.
First down and goal for the Wildcats. The ball will be placed at the 6-yard line. Daryl, the telltale sign of the Bobcats with all their hands on their hips now on the defensive side.
It looks like a fourth quarter already the way they're standing.
Culver-Stockton takes a timeout. We'll take a 30-second here with him. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
At Raymond James Financial Services, clear and frequent communication allows us to offer sound advice and appropriate investments to help you attain your financial goals. Financial advisor David LeGrand has been serving your community for over 33 years. Call David LeGrand today at 402-873-7477. Located in Nebraska City to learn more about the personal service they offer to all their clients. Raymond James Financial Services, member FINRA, SIPC, Life Well Planned.
Download the free B103 app in the iTunes Store or Google Play to listen to live coverage of the Peru State Bobcats.
Welcome back to Next Level Field. 9:43 remaining in the second quarter. Culver-Stockton up 7-0 and knocking on the door. First and goal, ball at the 6-yard line. Chris Swingle, good-looking freshman quarterback from the Kansas City area. Actually, Blue Springs, to be precise. Here in the I formation. Ball is turned handed to Desmond Phillips. Going to be taken down after about a yard gain. It was Shane Lloyd who made the tackle there. Going to spot it right at the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and goal for the Wildcats.
Yeah, this is a little unusual situation here at Culver-Stockton. You know, you mentioned the fraternities across the way. This is one of the few campuses that actually supplies housing for the fraternities and sororities right on campus, and they're going to build another one, the way I understand it, another building to house them.
Second down goal, ball at the 5. Swingle gets it, rolls to the far side. Now tries to cut it back up, but is sacked by Brian Bell. and it's going to be third down and goal with the ball at the 9-yard line. You know, Daryl, Brian Bell's done a nice job coming on this season, freshman from Imperial. And as the season got on, he stepped in for Matt O'Neill, the senior out of Thousand Oaks, California. Excuse me, Matt's a sophomore out of Thousand Oaks, California, who's had some injury problems. And I see Jordan Steffen on the far sideline playing catch now with Adam Klontz. Back to pass is Swingle. He throws it looking for his receiver. He's hit by Elijah Hawkins as he released it. It's going to fall incomplete, but there is a penalty flag on the play. So we've seen more soiled linen on the field than a Saturday night at a Chinese restaurant. Defensive holding is called this time. It's an automatic first down for defensive holding. So instead of the field goal team, penalty kills the Bobcats, and it's going to be first down now and goal with the ball at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, penalty number 3 already on the Bobcats today.
So Desmond Phillips stands behind the fullback, Swingle, this time under center. Turns, he hands the ball to Phillips. Phillips stutter steps, cuts inside, and there's another penalty flag on the play.
But boy, a great hit by Sullivan to keep him out of the end zone. He popped him right about the 1-yard line, and he's still down.
And now holding called on Culver-Stockton.
But he said it'll be 10 yards instead of just 5 with it going out away from the goalpost.
So another penalty, and
I believe that's number 5 on Culver-Stockton at least.
So now the ball comes out to the 14-yard line. First down and 10, or first down and goal. The ball at the 14. Desmond Phillips being carried to the sideline. And Octavius Bolton will take his place. Now trips to the far sideline, one to the near sideline is Swingle back to pass. Little screen pass in the middle of Bolton. He's got it about 7 yards down to the 7-yard line before his feet go out from under him and he slips. So the good news is in the off season they can use this for the ice capades. It's slick field here. Remember playing up the road a few years ago, the Huskers in Missouri, when they had that artificial turf field that was worn out and everybody was slipping and falling all day. It reminds you a little bit of that. Second down and goal, ball at the 7-yard line. I formation, Swingle under center, gets the snap, turns, and he hands it to Bolton. Bolton is going to be taken out of bounds about the 7-yard line. Drager finally forces him out of bounds. It's going to be third down and goal.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be brought down about the 10, but he broke a tackle and then ran out of bounds. I don't know if the hack score is in yet, but Chadron State is trailing Western New Mexico 17-0. And Southwest Minnesota, a team that Peru State's played at least 3 times in the last 20 years or so, trailing Winona State 14-13.
Now, Daryl, this would be, based on the penalties, this is now 7th down and goal from the 7-yard line. Seems like they've been inside the 10 forever here. Back to pass is Swingle. He looks for about his third receiver and just throws it away in the back of the end zone. Drager was there and Watkins were there. And so finally on the 8th play inside the 8th and goal, if you will, we will now see a field goal attempt from Eric Zamudio. 6:49 remaining.
I thought one of the most unusual first and goals I'd ever seen was in Nebraska. I believe they were playing Virginia Tech, West Virginia, one of those. They had a first and goal, they ended up punting because they had a couple of sacks, a couple of penalties, and ended up punting the ball.
So Zamudio attempting what's basically a long extra point. The ball's going to be spotted at the 24, and the kick is up at the 14. It's a 24-yard field goal, and it's good. 6:43 remaining in the second quarter. 10-0 Culver. We'll be back after this timeout. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
It happened to you. You met a deer, and we're not talking your sweetheart. Now your front end is damaged. Where do you take your vehicle for a makeover? Take it to Strigo's Southside Body Shop in Auburn. Whether you hit a deer, or your sweetheart hit the neighbor's car, or you got a broken windshield, the ASA certified technicians at Strigo's can have your vehicle looking like new in no time. With computer match paint and a state-of-the-art paint booth, no one will ever know you were in a wreck. See Strigo's Southside Body Shop in Auburn for all your car body repair work.
Follow B103 on Facebook and Twitter for live scores and more coverage of the Peru State Bobcats.
Welcome back to Next Level Field at Culver-Stockton. Eric Zamudio, who number 2 in the nation coming into this game in field goals, hits a 24-yarder. And Peru State's now down 10-0. And Daryl will have to go back and look. I think it's been since the fourth quarter of the Avila game now since Peru State has scored.
Well, yeah, it would have been real late in the game when Peru State came back with that score. That's right. It'd be a lot of quarters now without anything in the end zone.
Shutout last week by Mid-American Nazarene. Low kick. It looks like it's heading toward the sideline, and it is not going to get out. Trombley fielded it at about the 3, brings it back to about the 12. And the interesting is, kick from Zamudio went all the way down the sideline. Looked like it was going to bounce out. Never did. Trombley got it at the 2. Got it back out to about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, we do have some hack scores in now. Graceland over Avila, 16-0. Baker over Central Methodist, 14-0. And Mid-American Nazarene leads Benedictine 13-3.
Mid-American Nazarene, if they win that game, will be one game away from clinching a tie, at least, with Missouri Valley for the HAC championship.
And those are all early to mid-second quarter scores.
The Bobcats get the ball first down and 10. They're in the I formation. Wilson hands the ball to Aaron Smith in the middle. He gets about a yard. It'll be second down and 9 for the Bobcats. Be down 10 at this point for the Bobcats here with 6:18 remaining in the second quarter.
As I mentioned, this field, we're facing west to the field, and the sun's starting to shine in our windows. It's going to get a little difficult to see some of this stuff as the game goes on.
Again in the I formation for the Bobcats. Wilson turns, hands the ball to Smith. He's out to the 35. He's to the 40. Actually, I take that back, Daryl. That was Jake Goebel, a freshman from Des Moines. We haven't seen him carry the ball much this year.
No, we haven't.
Jake Goebel gets the carry on that fullback trap, and he's out to the 41-yard line, or right at the 40, I guess, is where they're going to say he went down. So Mid-American Nazarene, after today, has Avila next week.
Yeah, Jake Goebel only had 5 carries previous to that one for a total of 8 yards.
Back to pass is Wilson on first down, and he has Trombley, and he can't come up with it, and that would have been a touchdown. Trombley was 10 yards behind any defender. It hit him in the hand, but he was looking back into the sun, and Trombley couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, Trombley was at about the 41-yard line when that ball got to him, and he was, as Doc mentioned, probably 10 yards away from the nearest defender.
So second down and 10. Malik Pittman split to the near side. A.J. Floodman to the far side in the veer, and Marcus Spearman gets the pitch. And there was an ooh and ah from the crowd because the linebacker timed that. They must be able to time, it was LaQuavian Jones, must be able to time the snap count of Tommy Wilson because he came from 8 yards deep and crossed the line of scrimmage right as the ball was snapped. So they're going to be talking, I'm sure, to Tommy Wilson, the freshman, about altering that snap count a little bit.
A couple of receivers and coming in and some backs going out.
Third down and 9 for the Bobcats. 4:50 remaining in the second quarter, down 10-0. Split to the far side is Pittman. Merrill in the slot. Goebel stands behind Tommy Wilson as he's back to pass. Wilson gets flushed out of the pocket. Now back to the near side. He's got some blocking. Not going to have enough room to run for it. And he's going to be taken down for... If he had come back and set his feet, Daryl, he'd had plenty of time to throw. He wasn't going to run it from... He was 7 yards deep. He's going to have to run that ball 17 yards. had a wall in front of him to set up to throw the ball, but didn't really even look downfield at that point. And Connery will punt again. So the Bobcats will punt back deep. It'll be Andy Smith for Culver-Stockton inside his 20. Nice high punt, and Smith fields it. Is going to be hit immediately at about the 23-yard line. And another penalty flag coming in.
Justin Barnes made that tackle just as the player caught the ball. I believe they're signaling against Peru State, aren't they?
I think it is, and the ball would have been at the 24-yard line. So we'll see what this one is. Justin Barnes celebrated the tackle. Oh, no, it's blocking the back against Culver-Stockton. Peru State had moved all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Well, the official originally ran out and signaled against Peru State. And, yeah, like you're saying, the Peru defenders backed up like as if it was going to be against them.
So now Culver will have it first down and 10, the ball in their own 14-yard line. So they start at the 14 with 4:07 remaining here in the second quarter. Swingle back into the shotgun. He's got two receivers to the far side, one to the near side. Turns, fakes the handoff, back the pass. It's batted up in the air, and it's caught by a Culver lineman at the 10-yard line. He loses his helmet. And
probably his first. Is that 68?
I believe that was Ever Torres, 6 foot, 270-pound junior out of Houston, Texas. And he's got to come out of the game now. And it seemed like they blew the ball dead, Daryl, when he caught it, and his helmet came off at the 12-yard line. So replacing him is Ryan.
Oh, now another penalty flag.
Now, where did that one come from?
Yeah, the referee threw that one. Peru State's clapping.
Another penalty. That was on the Culver-Stockton bench, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called on the Culver-Stockton bench.
I did get a text from a member in the crowd a little bit ago from Peru State saying that there's a lot of naughty words being said on the Culver-Stockton bench right now. I want to thank those results I had from the cross-country meet in Peru State hosting right now the Hack. With thanks to Rick Jansen for sending those to me.
So since that was a dead ball, that takes it back to the 6-yard line. Swingle out of his own end zone, looking to throw to the far sideline. It's caught at the 10, and Logan Pabin shoves the receiver out of bounds. That was Will Kone that caught the ball, and it's going to bring up third down, and they're going to be at the 11. Third down and 13 with the ball at the 11-yard line. So a lot of unpleasantness between two teams going nowhere this season. At 4-5, Culver-Stockton, Peru State at 2-7. Third down and 13, and Swingle rolls to the near side, back to pass. It is bounced to the receiver. He is hit as soon as he throws it by Matt O'Neill. And Culver will punt out of their own end zone. No, well, he'll be standing in the end zone to receive the punt.
I'd like to wish happy birthday to our daughter Erica, the youngest in our family today. Erica is a student at Peru State right now, matter of fact.
Well, happy birthday, Erica. Married to a Peru State great herself.
Yeah, the Bert Swenson Award winner.
Here comes Zamudio's punt, and it drives Pabin back all the way to the 40-yard line, all the way to the 30. That's going to be a 62-yard punt by Eric Zamudio. And you talk about flipping the field. Pabin had lined up too shallow, and Zamudio kicked it over his head and then got the bounce. So it's all the way back to the Peru State 28-yard line. That's going to be a 61-yard punt by Zamudio.
Yeah, it shows what happens when you can get up in the upper atmosphere with this wind, the gusty wind out of the northwest today, and it got a hold of that ball and it really took it south across the field.
So Peru State with 2:57 remaining, back at the 28. I think Pabin was lined up about the 50-yard line, and it bounced around the 40, so it was 10 yards over where he had lined up. Tommy Wilson in the gun this time. 3 wide receivers. He's running. Now dumps it under to Trombley on the shovel pass. He gets about 3 yards for the tackle is made by Mike Fitzgibbons. So second down and about 7 to go. That'll be, I think, the second completion for Tommy Wilson, both shovel passes. Back to passes. Wilson throws it out to Trombley. Trombley, no blockers out there. He tries to cut it back the middle of the field. He gets about 3 to the 34. He was all on his own on that play. So gets to the 35. It's third down and 3 for the Bobcats.
Yeah,
go ahead, Daryl.
Okay, just had another game of interest around the area today. Wayne State is taking on the number 1 NCAA Division II school today, and their running back's a former Peru State player.
Tommy Wilson now turns, hands the ball underneath. He's going to go nowhere, and it's going to be fourth down for the Bobcats. Culver-Stockton's going to take a timeout here. We'll take a timeout with them. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
If you are a cattle producer who has started calves in a feedlot, you know that calves are stressed from feed changes, shipping, disease exposure, and commingling. Hubbard Feed's Stress Guard Starter System is a nutrition program that can help you manage the risk of starting calves. Getting your calves started correctly means they will go on feed faster, gain more, have fewer health problems, and be more profitable. Let the Stress Guard Starter System work for you. Call Roy Abel Farms at 402-274-8399 today.
Download the free B103 app in the iTunes Store or Google Play to listen to live coverage of the Peru State Bobcats.
Welcome back to Culver-Stockton Next Level Field here in Polton Stadium. Peru State trailing 10-0, and Culver-Stockton will get the ball back one more time. Minute 52. They put 5 seconds back on the clock. At the minute 52 to go here in the half. Peru State has had the ball 7 times in the first half. They have punted it 5 times and turned it over twice. So, we talked about Mid-American Nazarene after today. They played Benedictine today, which are leading 13-3. Missouri Valley and Benedictine and Mid-American Nazarene all tied. Missouri Valley has Evangel on the road today and at Baker next Saturday, so tough closing for Missouri Valley. Connery gets the snap. It's a wobbly punt. It's going to bounce about the 36-yard line and fielded by Smith at the 33. He's going to be taken down at the 35. Alan Barnes in on the tackle along with Justin Barnes. So Culver-Stockton will start at their own 35, have a really good passing offense, and a minute 43 and I believe 1 timeout left to work with. With Zamudio's leg and the wind behind him, Daryl, they don't have to get too deep into Bobcat territory to have a shot at a field goal there.
Well, yeah, this wind could be a really big factor on this drive for Culver-Stockton.
Swingle back to pass. He's got time in the pocket. Finds his receiver. It's going to be a first down at the 45. That's Fred Moore. And across the 45, they'll stop the clock. Elijah Hawkins wrapped him up there. And it'll be first down and 10 for Culver at their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, Elijah Hawkins and Briar Burr both got to him, but they couldn't bring him down. They just pushed him backwards, and so they blew the whistle and stopped the play.
Swingle back to pass, has time across the middle, but he misses Nick Hill. It'll be second down and 10. Swingle was having to step up into the pocket, step to his right. Hill was going across the field from his right to left, and he just couldn't quite find him. Gunnar Orcutt enters the game for the Bobcats, as does David Horvath here.
Well, I think he was hurried a little bit on that throw, too, and it didn't have a nice spiral. It was kind of a wobbly and just didn't get downfield to the receiver.
Trip split to the near side, one receiver to the far side. Swingle to the empty backfield. And ball snapped late. Everybody took off except for the center. There were 10 players moving, and the one who wasn't was the center, who then snapped at a count late, so that'll back him up 5.
Well, actually, I guess you could say there was 21 players moving because Peru State went in and they went on the move too.
So moves it back to the 40. It'll be second down and 15 now after the incompletion and the penalty. 3 receivers to the near side. Same formation they were in. Trips to the near side, one to the far side. Swing it by himself in the gun. He's got it, turns around, now steps up. He's hit from behind as he throws it, and Briar Burr came in and put the hit on the receiver. So it'll be third down and 15 with the ball at the 40.
I believe it was David Horvath for the Bobcats that hit the quarterback and hurried him just a little bit.
Bobcats showing a lot of different looks on defense. The only touchdown they've given up so far has been on the short field after the turnover. And now you have Kone and Hill split to the far side, split to the near side. It's Gunnerman. Single back next to Swingle. Swingle floats to the far side. He's got all day to throw the ball, and Ben Watkins is wrapped up. He had the arms around him, holding on to. Actually, it was Gunnar Orcutt getting held here in the backfield. He gets to the 50-yard line. It'll be fourth down on the scramble. It's going to be fourth down and about 5 to go. They need to get to the Peru State 45-yard line. And I believe they are going to punt. I think Zamudio is going to come. Oh, nope, Swing goes back on the field. And the Bobcat defense is the punt team's rushing off defense back on. 40 seconds and running. And now Culver-Stockton, I believe, is going to burn their final timeout. Actually, Peru State's going to take a timeout because they weren't settled on defense. 36 seconds remaining. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
Larson Motors wants to thank the young men and women serving in all branches of the military, as well as those who have given their lives for this great nation. This time of the year is an impactful reminder to be grateful year-round for the freedoms we enjoy. In uncertain times, one thing remains constant, the pride we share as Americans for the men and women in uniform. At Larson Motors, they honor the military and their families and thank them for their service, past and present. Larson Motors, Highway 75, north of Nebraska City, under the big American flag.
Back to more Bobcat football on today's best country, B103.
Welcome back, and now it looks like Culver-Stockton will punt as Zamudio comes into the game. Peru State burns a timeout, 36 seconds remaining. But Zamudio will stand at his own 36-yard line. Last time he uncorked a 61-yard punt. The line of scrimmage is right at midfield. And it snapped over his head all the way back to the 20-yard line, and Zamudio is going to get the punt off. Oh, my goodness. The Bobcats, 5 Bobcats back there, and nobody covered the punter.
Wow.
Oh,
that's going to be a good punt.
And Zamudio is going to end up with about a 28-yard punt.
But from where he kicked it back there, he went 55 yards in the air with that punt once he picked the ball up.
5 Bobcats went back, and how they allowed Zamudio to pick that up and punt it. I'd love to see the film on that one, but that was a great play by Zamudio and an absolutely horrendous play by the Bobcat punt team.
Yeah, Baker now leads Central Methodist 21-7, Graceland over Avila 14-6 yet. St. American Nazarene 13-10 over Benedictine.
So Tommy Wilson under center, and he's going to turn and hand the ball to Aaron Smith, who's taken down after about a 4 or 5 yard gain. That's going to be it for the first half. So the Bobcats' offensive struggles continue. They've not scored now for 7 quarters. As we go to halftime, trailing Culver-Stockton 10-0. We'll be back with our halftime report after this timeout. You are listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
Hunters, are you ready for duck, goose, pheasant, and quail seasons, or the quest for the biggest buck deer around, giving you bragging rights for the next year? Well, get yourself signed up at Hoagie's Gun and Sport in Auburn by November 14th for their 33rd annual Rifle Season Big Buck Contest, giving you the chance for prizes galore November 15th through the 24th. see Hoagie's for ammo, knives, scopes, deer scents, and over 500 firearms to choose from. Hoagie's Gun and Sport in Auburn, Nebraska, your one-stop